Welcome to Hilary Emmanuel Ministries, where faith meets power, purity and prosperity, and breakthroughs are born. At Diadem, we equip you with bold prayers, life-transforming teachings, and spiritual strategies to overcome every challenge life throws your way. Join us as we dive into God's Word, experience His presence like never before, and walk in His purpose for our lives. If you're in London, we invite you to fellowship with us in person at Diadem, 4 Pegamoid Road, N18 2NG. Don't forget to subscribe now and let's grow in faith together.
Brethren, we need to encourage ourselves from time to time. That's what the Bible commands us to do. He said we should encourage ourselves, especially as we see the day approaching. We should ginger ourselves. We should sharpen one another. We should help ourselves in the race. Because we are actually in a race. We are actually in a battle. We are fighting for our eternity. We are fighting for our destinies. And brethren, one thing with this race and this battle is that it's not a snap race. It's not just a race you stand up in one day, you run and you say, yes, I've won, I'm number one, and that is it, it's finished. It's a prolonged race. It's an endurance race. And sometimes it's a lifelong race. It's a race we run to the very end. And one thing you will know with this race is that some people even finish the race. But even though they win the race, they win the battle, only very few come out as exceptional. Only very few stand out as legends. And I want you to become a legend. I want you to stand out. I want your name to be engraved in the board of history, so that generations to come, they will read about you, they will desire to be like you. They will cry unto God and say, Lord, make me like so person. Those are legends. And those legends we read about, brethren, they were not the only people that lived in their time. So many other people lived in their time. They made it. They got to heaven. They were successful. They fulfilled their destinies, but they were not legends. So I want to show you today how you can become a spiritual living legend. How you can stand out from others. And that's what we are talking about, what I call the super stamina of spiritual legends. The super stamina of spiritual legends. Because I told you it's a race. I told you it's a battle. And you need a lot of stamina. You need a lot of stamina. If you don't have the stamina, you can't. You know, it's not every person that can do marathon race. It's not every person. Person like me, I don't like long race. That was one aspect that affected me in the army. I don't like long distance race. Because those kind of endurance race is when you are tired, completely finished. That's when the race starts afresh. And that's where you now need to go and look for where you get stamina from. So stamina is what you need. And what is stamina? Stamina is the physical or mental strength to do something and to do it for a long time. Stamina is the physical, the mental strength that you need to do something and continue to do it continually. But do you know that one thing I discovered, I don't know, maybe it's the food we eat in this generation. This generation, we don't have stamina. Do you see footballers? If they play draw in a match, somebody must win. And it goes into extra time. Come and look at all of them. They are finished already. They will just be running up and down the field. They will not be able to do anything again because they did not train themselves to get extra stamina. They don't train themselves for stamina. So stamina is your ability to keep going when you are completely exhausted. When there's no energy left in you. When there's nothing left again. That is what we call stamina. And stamina will help you to endure hard and difficult situations, hard and difficult terrains. You will be able to sustain a prolonged physical effort, mental effort for a very long time. That is stamina. And we need stamina in spiritual things more than any other thing. Even more than sportsmen, more than all these athletes we are talking about. We Christians, we believers, we need stamina more than any other person. Because we are in a spiritual battle. We are in a battle whereby a lot of people are falling out of the way. A lot of people are giving up on the way. And as such, if you have to make it to the very end, you need stamina. So stamina is the ability to resist fatigue. When fatigue sets in, you say, no, I can't stop now. It's your ability to resist hardship, even on to the point of illness. That is stamina. That is stamina. And what of legends? A legend is defined as a person or thing that is very famous for having special qualities, having special abilities. Somebody that does something extraordinary. I'm going to show you from the scriptures. And how do those ones become legends? Is by training. Is by constantly doing what they are doing and improving on it day by day. When they continue to do it that way, at a point they will become legends. So it's by continual doing. That's how you become a legend. But personally, I define legend as ordinary people. Just ordinary person that fought against all odds in life and become extraordinary. That's how I define a legend. Somebody that is just ordinary. Somebody that is completely nobody. Somebody that is just normal like any other person. It could even be a child. It could be a young person. It could be an adult, male or female. That possibly the circumstances of life, the battles of life confronted him or her, and he has no any other option than to survive. And the person continued to fight the battles of life. Till that battle shaped that person into a legend. A normal guy that fought against everything to change their own lives and change the lives of others around them. That's what I define as legend. Let me show you some scriptural legends. 2 Samuel 23. 2 Samuel chapter 23, look at verse 8. 2 Samuel 23 verse 8. He said, these be the names of the mighty men whom David had. The Bible called them mighty men. They're actually legends. And the Bible said these are their names. But I have shown you before, brethren. You read it before in the Bible. When they came to David, they were not mighty men. They were actually running away from some problems. It was the situations of life that drove them away from town. So they went and hid themselves with David in the bush. They were in debt. They were discouraged. They were discontented with life. They had a lot of situations challenging them. They ran away. And in the process, they didn't just run away and went into the bush and be sleeping. They started to train. They started to now exercise themselves. They started to shape themselves. Until all of them, the Bible now called them mighty men. Mighty legends. Let's see what they did. The Bible mentioned one of them. Because the Bible said these are their names. He said the Tachmonite that sat in the seat, chief among the captains. You see, there are captains. Those are legends in their own level. But he is now a chief over them. That is super legends. Super legends. Now look at what he did. The same was Adino, the Esnite. He lifted up his spear against 800 whom he slew at one time. How was this possible? That one man could stand in the midst of 800 people surrounded him, all of them having weapons, and he could use just a spear to wipe out 800 soldiers, warriors also. How did he come to that point? Training, constant fighting. Maybe when he started by just killing only one man at a time. And gradually, he trained himself to kill more than one man. Gradually, he started to see himself killing 20 at a time. And gradually, he was not satisfied. Legends are never satisfied. They keep breaking new records every day. They keep pushing boundaries. That's how legends behave. So he started pushing. And he got to a point now that he could raise his spear and wipe out 800 men. In fact, the Bible itself have to record it down. The Bible had to document it. They had to write it down. These are super legends. And do you see how they put his name? They mention his name. They mention where he came from. They mention who he was. And they say he was a chief among them. Who made him a chief? His operations, his special capabilities made him a chief. Look at what followed again. Verse 9. And after him was Eleazar, the son of Dodo the Ahohite, one of the 3 mighty men with David. The Bible said there were 3. And the Bible called these 3 mighty men. That's what we are calling legends today. He said this one, Eleazar, the son of Dodo the Ahohite, was one of them. Was one of them. And they were present with David. What did he do? When they defied the Philistines that were there gathered together to battle. I told you, brethren, that it is the battle of life that shapes spiritual legends. It's the battle of life that turns us to legends. If you don't fight, you can never become a legend. What are we going to write about you? Who did you kill? What did you destroy? So the Bible said there was a war. They defied the Philistines that were gathered together to battle. And the men of Israel were gone away. Why? Remember, the men of Israel were also soldiers. So they were also warriors. Why would they fight suddenly and go away? Tiredness. Was Eleazar the son of Dodo not a human being like them too? But legends don't believe they are tired. Legends don't become tired. The normal soldiers, the normal warriors of Israel, their body told them, you are now tired, it's time to go home. You can't continue like this. You don't have the energy anymore to continue. But legends will speak back to their body and say, get energy where you can get it from. Go and get stamina wherever you can get it from. And so every person left. Look at verse 10. He arose all alone, and smote the Philistines until his hand was, what does that mean? Became tired too. Became tired. No, is that not the point to say, I have to go home? I have tried. At least I didn't go with the rest people. At least I waited and I slew some men more. So let me go now. But did he go? This is how you become a legend. Your ability to push yourself beyond limit. Your ability to push yourself extra mile. Even when you are completely finished and exhausted. Look at what he did. The Bible said that his hand was weary, he was tired. And his hand clave unto the sword. Do you understand what that means? No, he had no feeling anymore in the hand. The hand became numb. And the hand was like they used gum to glue it to the sword. How he was fighting, he could no longer believe. I told you, brethren, that legends are people of extraordinary capabilities. That's how to become a legend. Extraordinary performances. His hand clave to the sword, and the Lord wrought a great victory that day. Why didn't the Lord do it all this while when the whole army was there? Why didn't the Lord do this great victory when the whole army of Israel were still fighting? He wanted to fish out the legends, wanted to recognize the legends among them. And when he found only one, brethren, legends are not common, no. I'm just teaching you this thing so that you know. I'm not expecting anybody to become a legend. You say why? Because in the whole country, you might find only one. Only Eleazar, the son of Dodo. You might find only the other guy, only one or two or three in the whole country. So possibly I might find one or two. Possibly I might not even find at all. Because how many people are willing to push extraordinary boundaries and do what no man has ever done before? The Bible said that's when God now showed up. That's when God now started to operate. God loves legends. Because he himself is a super legend. He loves to walk with legends. So when he recognized one, he quickly came down. And only two of them, only him and God, they fought the battle. And the Lord wrought a great victory that day. And the people only came back to spoil. Verse 11. And after him was Shammah. They said they were three. They were three. After him was Shammah, the son of Agag the Hararite. And the Philistines were gathered together into a troop. Listen carefully. Sometimes the Lord allows enemy to be able to select legends among us. Sometimes, why is it that the Philistine all the time? The Lord is using it to train his legends. He's using it to select his legends. And so the Philistine came back again. They were gathered together into a troop. Where was a piece of ground full of lentils? And the people fled. Do you see now? The people fled. They are soldiers also. They are soldiers. They fled from the Philistines. Verse 12. But he stood in the midst of the ground and defended it. That's how legends behave. He stood in the midst of the ground, all alone, feared no death, and defended it, and slew the Philistines. And the Lord wrought a great victory. Do you see that? Verse 13. These three men, the three of the 30 chiefs went down. So there were 30 altogether. And out of the 30, there were 3 special legends. Out of them, you still have the whole 400, and then the 600, and then the large army that David had. But they picked them according to their rankings. So the 30 of them went down and came to David in the harvest time unto the cave Adullam. And the troop of the Philistines pitched in the valley of Rephaim. And David was then in the hold, and the garrison of the Philistines was then in Bethlehem. And David longed and said, oh, that one would give me drink of the water of the well of Bethlehem, which is by the gate. David just wanted to see the operation of legends. And the 3, do you see? If you become a legend, brethren, where men are running away from, that's where you will want to stand. What people are saying, no, everybody run away, that's where you will come out. The 3 mighty men, they break through the host of the Philistines and they drew water of the well of Bethlehem that was by the gate, and took it and brought it to David. Nevertheless, he would not drink thereof, but poured it out unto the Lord. And he said, be it far from me, O Lord, that I should do this. Is not this the blood of the men that went in jeopardy of their life? That's how legends behave. It jeopardized their lives. Therefore, he would not drink of it. These things did these 3 mighty men, these 3 legends. Verse 18. After separating those 3 legends, verse 18, and Abishai, the brother of Joab, the son of Zeruiah, was chief among the 3. And he lifted up his spear against 300 and slew them. This one, Abishai, killed 300 men also, and had the name among 3. Was he not most honorable of them? Therefore, he was their captain. How be it? Take note of this. The Bible says, but. Even though he killed 300 men, he did all this in, he became a captain. How be it? He attained not unto the first 3. He was not in the same level with those 3 men. Even though he did all this, 300 people, did all, he said, no, he has not, he's not at the level of those legends. He did not get to that level. Verse 20. And Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, if Christ tarries, and generations are to come, and they write the history of diadem. That's how they are going to be calling our names. So this is how all of us, our names are going to begin to appear like this. Generations to come will begin to read about it. And they're going to begin to read about our exploits. What and what you did. They are going to read about it. You see how we are reading these ones now. When they were doing this, they didn't know we are going to read it. They didn't know that a day will come, we will sit down and be reading their names and what they did. So look at what he said in that place. He said, Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, the son of a valiant man of Kabzeel, who had done many acts. Which means he has been practicing. He has been operating many acts. It's not today that he started. He did not get to that level of being a legend just overnight. He has been doing many acts. The Bible didn't just tell us all the acts he has been doing. Many acts. He slew 2 lion-like men of Moab. When the Bible describes human beings that look like lions, they truly look like lions. And this man just killed the 2 of them. And slew a lion in the midst of a pit in a time of snow. Do you know that kind of situation? Inside a pit, human being and lion. Is it not just for the lion to just jump on the person out? But he killed the lion inside snow. Verse 21. And he slew an Egyptian, a goodly man, And the Egyptian had a spear in his hand, but he went down to him with a staff, with ordinary stick, and plucked the spear out of the Egyptian hand and used it to kill him. These are the many acts. You see how legends operate. Verse 22. He said, these things did Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, and had the name among the 3 mighty men. He was more honorable than the 30. But, are you following me? But he attained not to those first 3. Eleazar, the son of Dodo, and Adino, and Shammah. He didn't reach those 3. Didn't reach those 3. Even though he did all these things, do you see there are levels of legends, spiritual legends? He said he did not, and David set him over the guard. There are ranks. So if you read passages like this, you read like this scripture we just read now, you begin to ask yourself, how did these people get this kind of stamina? Where did they get this kind of stamina from? They were also human beings. How did they do it? Let me show you. 2 Samuel chapter 3. 2 Samuel chapter 3. Look at verse 1 quickly. Now, there was long war. That's what wear people out. That's what wear people out. I know some of us have been asking questions. When is this war going to stop now, Pastor? Because some of us have fought it now for 12 years here. That's beside the one we have been fighting before that them started. Long war. So there was long war between the house of Saul and the house of David. And look at what happened. David waxed stronger and stronger. That's how legends behave. Every war you fight makes you stronger. Every battle you fight makes you stronger. That's how legends are made. And the house of Saul waxed weaker and weaker. Look at another scripture again. 1 Chronicles chapter 11. Look at verse 9. So David waxed greater and greater, for the Lord of hosts was with him. That's the secret. The Lord of hosts was with him. It's the Lord that was strengthening him. It's the Lord that was supplying the stamina. So the stamina we are talking about, brethren, is going to come directly from heaven. These are special capabilities. These are capabilities beyond human ability. On our own, we don't have such strength. The stamina comes from heaven. 1 Samuel chapter 30, look at verse 1. And it came to pass, when David and his men were come to Ziklag on the 3rd day, that the Amalekites had invaded the south, and Ziklag, and smitten Ziklag, and burned it with fire. And they had taken the women captives that were therein. They slew not any, either great or small, but carried them away and went on their way. So David and his men came to the city, and behold, it was burned with fire, and their wives and their sons and their daughters were taken captives. Then David and the people that were with him lifted up their voice and wept till they had no more power to weep. What does that tell you, brethren? It tells that even legends, they are still human beings. Even legends, they are still emotional. Even legends on their own, they are still ordinary people. But it's that spirit of God in them that makes them legend. Now look at what follows. They wept because something evil has happened to them. Verse 8. And David inquired at the Lord, saying, shall I pursue after this? That's what legends. After weeping, they know what to do. You can hurt them, you can do anything to them, they will cry, emotional, that's fine. They push that aside, they face the business. Any setback, any downfall, any defeat, they don't take it to heart, they know what to do. They know the right way to respond. That's how legends behave. That's the mindset of legends. Those who are not legends, I'm going to show you now very soon. So that verse says, David inquired, shall I overtake? And he answered and said, pursue, for thou shalt surely overtake them, and without fail recover all. Verse 9, that's all David needed. That's all he needed. Verse 9. So David went, he and the 600 men that were with him. Are you there? 600. 600. And they came to the brook Besor, where those that were left behind stayed. So some people were left behind. Some people among the 600, they could only go as far as the brook Besor. Their energy disappeared. No more stamina. No more strength. No more power to continue. They couldn't go further. Even to get to the point of the battlefront, they couldn't reach there. So they stayed there at the river. If you don't have stamina, at a point, the person will begin to faint. Spiritual fainting. Spiritual fainting. You will not have the ability to pray anymore. You will not have the energy, the strength to pray anymore. Even 30 minutes prayer will be a serious labor. It will be a hard labor. You'll be toiling and sweating. Look at verse 10. But David continued to pursue. He and 400 men. So they had to abandon 200 behind. Those ones are completely depleted. No energy left. For 200 abode behind. Which were what? The Bible said they were so faint. No more stamina. No more stamina. These are soldiers. So they were so faint that they could not even cross the brook Besor. They couldn't even cross the river. That's how tired they were. Verse 21. And David came to the 200 men, because David went and they collected all those things, they recovered, they fought the battle, they recovered, and they came back. So when they came back, they met those 200 men. That's one thing. If you don't cry, if you don't do anything, if you don't work on yourself to become a legend, you will still be there when legends begin to emerge. When they begin to come out with the stories of victory, you will be there when you will be hearing their testimonies. So those 200 men, what would they be doing there? So they would drink water, possibly lie down and sleep. And then just maybe within a few days, the real legends started to come back. And they came back with their whole stolen items and their families and with spoils. So when they came, they got back, and verse 22, and David came to the 200 men, which were so faint that they could not follow David, whom they had made also to abide at the brook Besor. And they went forth to meet David, and to meet the people that were with him. And when David came near to the people, he just saluted them. Saluted them. Do you see the Bible documented everything? The only thing is the Bible covered their secret. It didn't mention their names. You don't become a legend by living a battle-free life. A life free of battle, no fighting, everything going smooth. You don't become a legend like that. Never. It is the battle of life itself. It's the battle of destiny that turns you to a legend. You become a living legend by surmounting mountains, conquering mountains, by swimming against the current. That's how you become a legend. By overcoming tides and waves. 2 Corinthians chapter 4. Look at verse 16. 2 Corinthians chapter 4 verse 16. For which cause we faint not. The Bible said there is a reason why we are not fainting. There is a purpose why we are not. It's not that circumstances around us is not enough to make us to faint. He said, but there is a reason why we are not fainting. But though our outward man perish. He said, to become a legend, sometimes even our physical body will suffer. Even our physical body will get to the point of almost perishing. He said, yet the inward man is what? I want you to read it along with me. The inward man is renewed. How? Day by day. That's how to become a legend. You get daily renewal. You get daily revival. You get daily sharpening. Every day your inward man is renewed, is revived, is sharpened. That's how to become a legend. Look at what he said in verse 17. He said, for our light affliction. Do you see that? He called our affliction light. Time will not permit me, brethren, to take you and show you what Paul was calling light affliction. To show you what he was calling light affliction. That's why he started by saying, even if our body perish. So he said, the light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us as far more exceeding an eternal weight of glory. Verse 18. While we look not at the things which are seen. He said, if you focus on physical things, you focus on things you see around you, and events happening around you. If you focus more than that, you will lose the sight of the spiritual things. And it's the spiritual things that turn you to legends. He said we don't focus on the things that we see, but are the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen, they are temporal. But the things which are not seen, they are eternal. This is how to operate if you want to become a legend. But why are we talking about this? Why are we talking about stamina? How is that important to us? Brethren, have you observed something lately? And that's why the Bible was talking about focusing on the spiritual things, things that are not seen. Have you observed Christianity? Especially if you have been a Christian for a while. If you started Christianity maybe in the 80s, in the 70s, in the 90s or so, if you started Christianity that time, and you look at what is happening in Christianity now, you will now begin to know that something is going wrong. You will know that something is really wrong. Because then, you see brothers, you see sisters, you will be praying. Sometimes you will be praying and telling God, please make me like this brother. Give me the zeal of this brother. Those are the kind of prayer people were praying then. And then you see churches, you see ministries. There are churches. I remember my first time I stepped, when I repented in a crusade, the Renabonki crusade, and I went to a church first. The church I entered, when I stepped into that church, it was like I entered heaven. The feeling was like I stepped into heaven. And when you see all those things, and now you begin to see that same church, you see that same crop of believers, you see what they are turning to. The fire is finished. The zeals are gone. A lot of compromises here and there. What the ministry stood for before is totally forgotten now. They are now beginning to do things that were told not to do before. And all this, when you see this thing, now you now notice that what is happening, no more stamina. The race has lasted over 40 years. The race has lasted over 50 years, and stamina is totally finished. No more stamina. And that's what happened. I don't want that to happen to us. So that if Christ tarries, even in the next 100 years, and we are still here, we will still be stronger than the way we were before. That is how Christianity is supposed to be. Joshua chapter 14. And what makes the difference, brethren, is the stamina. The spiritual stamina is what makes the difference. If you have the stamina, it doesn't matter your age. Age can never slow you down. If you have the spiritual stamina. Look at Joshua chapter 14. Look at verse 6. I want you to follow me carefully in this scripture. It says, then the children of Judah, they came unto Joshua in Gilgal. Now, what happened was that they have now entered the promised land. They've entered the Canaan land. And they have been distributing the land. They have been sharing the land. So when they now enter, some people of Judah, they came to Joshua, being the leader. And Caleb, you remember Caleb? You remember two of them, Caleb and Joshua? They were the only two people that left Egypt, that entered the promised land. Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, the Kenizzite. You know, when you do good things, Bible will call all your name to your father's name and your grandfather's name, everything complete. When you do good things. He was reminding Joshua, you remember what God said concerning me and you in Kadesh Barnea? Look at what he said in verse 7. Very important, brethren. Very important. He said, what? 40 years old was I then. I say I was 40 years old. When Moses, the servant of the Lord, sent me from Kadesh Barnea to spy out the land, and I brought him word again as it was in my heart. I brought good report. 40 years old then. Verse 8. Nevertheless, my brethren that went up with me made the heart of the people melt, but I wholly followed the Lord. Brethren, are you following me? Are you following me? Then, when people were backsliding, he did not join them. He stood. He had the stamina. You see, he said, I wholly followed the Lord. The stamina, the zeal, the energy was there to wholly follow the Lord. 40 years ago. He was 40 years then. Now look at what followed. Verse 9. And Moses swore on that day, saying, surely the land whereon thy feet have trodden shall be thy inheritance, and thy children forever, because thou hast wholly followed the Lord my God. Verse 10. And now, behold, the Lord has kept me alive, as he said, these 40 and 5 years, even since the Lord spake this word unto Moses. That's how old is he now? 85. While the children of Israel wandered in the wilderness, and now, lo, I am this day 85 years old. 85 years. The promise of God to him, the promise has waited for 45 years. Verse 11. As yet I am as strong this day as I was in the day that Moses sent me. Are you really understanding what he's saying? He said, I am 85 years old. The way I am now is how I was when I was 40 years old. Nothing has changed. Look at it. He said, my strength, as my strength was then, when I was 40 years old, even so is my strength. Do you see stamina, brethren? He said, for what? He said, that war we fought when we were 40 years old, I'm still ready, an 85-year-old man. He said, for war, both to go out, anywhere you call us. You see legends. Age does not slow a legend down. He said, I was 40 years old, a young man, I could go to, but now, 85, I can still do the same thing. Look at what follows. Now, therefore, verse 12. Give me what? 85. Why not say, give me this land that has been rescued already? The land that nobody's give me according just to fulfill the promise. Look at what he's demanding for. 85-year-old legend. He said, give me mountain. I told you that legends are those that surmount mountains. Those that conquer mountains. Those that defeat mountains. They are the ones that are legends. He said, give me this mountain, whereof the Lord spake in that day, for thou hadest in that day. Those are the Anakims Israel was running away from. The ones they say that they are giants. He said, that's the place I want. And those Anakim, they are still there. Nobody touched them. They avoided that area. He said, give me that place. And that the cities were great and fenced. If so be with me. You know, I showed you why David was a legend. The Lord was with him. This one now, he said, let me go and prove it, whether God is with me. Let me go and test it if God is with me. If God is with me, give me that place that everybody's running away from. Don't worry. Very soon, we'll start sending you out as missionaries. We'll send you to difficult places, hard terrains, where you will go and fight with ancient idols. Idols that nobody has ever insulted before. Idols that they wear the most expensive judge. The material they call judge. There's one material, the most expensive golden judge. They use it to wrap the idol. That's where you are going to go and challenge that idol. Look at 85-year-old man. He said, let me go and prove it if God is with me. Give me the mountain where the Anakims are that made Israel to be trembling. They said they're like they are grasshoppers. He said, that's the place I want. He says, then I shall be able to drive them out, as the Lord said, verse 13. And Joshua blessed him and gave unto Caleb the son of Jephunneh, where? Hebron. You know about Hebron. I told you that that's their foundation. That is actually the foundation of Israel. That's where Abraham lived. Abraham the Hebrew. That's their place. The ancestral home of the Hebrews. Now the enemy giants have taken over the place. Brethren, if you are going to become a legend, you can never tell me that you are a legend after staying in diadem and one idol is still surviving in your family. And one giant is still staying in your foundation. That's where you have, you see, say that's the place I want. Let me go and fight the foundational powers. So Joshua blessed him and said, go and take Hebron for your inheritance. Verse 14. Hebron therefore became the inheritance of Caleb, the son of Joshua, unto this day. Which means he conquered them. Legends. With extraordinary stamina. With super stamina. He was able to go at the age of 85 and destroy giants and took the land because he wholly followed the Lord God of Israel. Verse 15. And the name of Hebron before was Kirjat Arba, which Arba was a great man among the Anakims. So you must kill a great man. You must displace a great man. That's how to become a legend. And I'm telling you all these things, brethren, because too many believers are fainting already. Too many Christians. You will hear a church will rise up and do flame, fire, everything. Before long, everything will quench off. Die off, you hardly hear anything again. What happened? The stamina is finished. No more strength. No more strength. No more strength. If you are going to become a legend, you don't give up. Don't give up, no matter what you encounter. No matter the enemies that face you, don't give up until you achieve your goal. You will be tired, no doubt. You will be worn out, no doubt. But you just make up your mind you are not giving up. I've told you this story several times. When I went to join the army, the first exercise was running. And that was my worst nightmare. And they were thousands, literally thousands of people, unemployment. So we came out, they just say, go. We had to go about 18 miles. And they gave us how many minutes? Go quickly. My pastor, we know that place very well. From the barrack alone to the main road, I was panting already. The race has not even started. I was totally exhausted and finished. And I've been practicing for long. I didn't know that I would be totally finished that quickly. And men were running. Yeah, you need to see boys that are on fire. I look front like this, thousands already in my front. And then I heard somebody speak in our dialect. He said, leave down, let's stop. He was telling his friend, he said, let's stop. People in the front already said they just needed only less than 60 or 50 people. He said, there's no need, let's stop. We can't make it again. Look at the people in our front. If you are giving up that easily, you can never become a legend. So what I did not care whether thousands are in my front. I just started to get my composure. Even though I was tired already, gradually I started to acclimatize into the race. I started to pick race. I started to pick up. All those training I've been doing for how many months, they started to come back. And then I was throwing my leg like this. One leg, two leg, I will overtake how many people? And I continue like that. By the time I will get there, I was surprised I was number 6. I didn't believe it. And as soon as I was just coming, they just said, directed me, they said, come and sit down here. Come and sit down on the line. I was shocked. Immediately I crossed that stage, I knew I have entered the army. So what am I saying in essence? There are situations that you will be so exhausted. You will be so tired and worn out. Nothing left at all in you. Don't give up. Don't give up. Because the Lord is with you. I have shown you examples from Bible, how people like us also, they were tired. And that was when God showed up. And when God shows up, one thing he shows up with is stamina. Stamina. He first of all infuse you with stamina from heaven. And that's what we are going to get today. Let's close our eyes. And you're going to say like this, as the Lord God of heaven liveth, and as his spirit liveth, I won't give up.
Thank you for watching. If this message blessed you, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to join our growing community of faith. You've just listened to the sermon, but there are powerful prayers that follow. Due to social media rules and guidelines, the prayers have been removed from this video. However, you can access the full prayers and more life-changing resources by visiting www.pastorhillary.org or downloading our app, Diadem Media. If you're in the London area, we'd love to have you fellowship with us in person at 4 Pegamoid Road, N18 2NG. If you have any questions about this message, want counseling from Pastor Hillary, or wish to share your testimonies following the prayers, please leave a comment below and someone from our team will get in touch. Until next time, may God bless you abundantly and guide you in all your ways. Stay victorious.